Well, welcome back to Comstock's channel, accelerating the commercialization of decarbonization, and with the recent agreement, basically making the oil well that will never stop producing here, which is an intriguing statement to say the least. And joining to break down the headline, we're going to dive into this with Corrado, the CEO. As always, welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me, Kyle. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I love seeing the excitement. This is a rather fascinating discussion with the recent Hex agreement that you guys have. Despite a powerful decarbonizing story, though, with today's announcement, you're kind of opening the door to domestic energy dominance. Do you want to kind of explain what's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, it's built up incredibly. So first and foremost, of course, Comstock Fuels has this, lignocellulosic technology. What that literally means is we can take wood or woody biomass and produce up to 140 gallons per ton of waste wood. So 140 gallons is like double the next competitor. And because there's an abundance of waste wood, that means we can start to produce billions of gallons of fuel for the just in the United States alone, just in the United States alone. So with the recent announcement, of us selecting a site in Oklahoma and with, us creating, these incredibly large sources of feedstock, we were already on our way to sort of denting, the demand supply and really creating a meaningful company. What today's announcement with Hexas has done, and it's an incredible technology. They can plant what most people would probably describe. I know their CEO, Wendy Owens, describes as, if a bamboo stalk and a corn stalk mated, Hexas's xanograss would be the resulting child. Okay. What does it look like? I mean, it looks more like a bamboo stalk with some leafy material, but it grows really fast. It grows in marginal or sometimes in, difficult environments, where you would not normally be farming or growing any crops. And it has extraordinarily high yields for our process. So basically, now instead of, selecting sites solely based on, some amount of waste wood in proximity, you can now strategically place sites where, yes, there's waste wood in proximity, but where you could just continue to grow, the Hexas materials, feeding the alligator, feeding the refinery, feeding the machine, if you will, endlessly. So this idea of creating, Permian Basin, creating oil wells that never stop giving is actually a practical statement, right? And so if that now unblocks the bottleneck, feedstock being the bottleneck, you wouldn't just make a dent. You wouldn't just have a very, very large oil company. You could literally create energy independence internationally. You can create energy dominance, domestically. It's very powerful.
Yeah, simplify this for us a little bit. Kind of with you and Hex kind of having this partnership, can you explain how you're kind of creating a new standard in oil and maybe just broad view that very,
Yeah.
old headline?
Right on. Yeah. So think of it this way, like when everybody's talking about drilling, which of course we need more energy. In this case, simply by identifying locations that, we would argue um, wouldn't compete with food, right? Wouldn't compete with, we wouldn't be using vegetables for fuel, but could provide a tremendous flow of oil, right? When we say the new standard in oil, it's kind of a play here on Standard Oil, right? Like they created an enormous monopoly, an enormous capacity, for petroleum. We feel like we're positioned to create an equally enormous capacity, right, for Hexas-based Bioleum, right? Because there even though there's an abundance of waste wood, it's a finite amount, right? But if you're literally growing rapidly, this feedstock not only grows in marginal environments, not only grows in underutilized or unused, acres of land in the United States, it actually has an impact of reinvigorating the soils. It's crazy, right? So you're creating an economy, frankly, a new standard for oil. You're creating an economy that doesn't exist, a bioeconomy. The farmers will make much more money, the growers will make way more money, but then our facilities will have a lower cost for processing that same material. The key point, though, in both energy dominance and this new standard in oil is that it never stops coming, right? It is a certifiably, truly sustainable solution.
Yeah, and just to kind of reiterate as well, I mean, people are using vegetable oils already for these things. How does Hex's, how is theirs better than using, say, soybeans or
Yeah,
corn for renewable
great
fuel?
question. Yeah, no, so if you think about corn and or soybeans, I mean, putting it in standard oil terms, I think they're doing like 2 barrels per acre and 10 barrels per acre, respectively, whereas Hexas would deliver 100 barrels per acre. So now you understand what I'm saying, right? It's like it's truly it's not a paradigm shift, right? It's just shattering the paradigm altogether. It's creating a whole new standard in feedstock. And look, our technology without an abundance of feedstock is their technology, their feedstock without a processing capabilities, you put the two together, you've just unleashed a new standard. I mean, it's just really exciting for what's about to happen. Like we're on our final steps of site selection for our first site in Oklahoma, and we've now announced that adjacent to that site, which is really a commercial demonstration scale facility. We're doing about 75,000 tons of woody biomass a year. We're going to do a 5,000-acre pilot grow with Hexas there, right? So that right off the bat, we're amalgamating these technologies and creating one big system, to deliver these new oils. And, given what we heard yesterday, at the inauguration, we're in an energy crisis, right? We need energy dominance in the United States. And I don't know if people are aware of this. Front and center in the middle of that executive order, right? Biofuels are a critical component to our energy independence and our energy dominance. So we're just aligned perfectly with the moon and the stars as everything's coming together here in 2025.
On that note, we'll pass it off to the viewers. Let us know what you think and consider subscribing when Catalyst news hit the wire like this. Of course, we'll bring it to you here. But on that, we look forward to catching you in the next one.